Today I'm going to show you how to turn this plain MDF board into the spirit of Christmas. Ta-da! All right, I'm using the Legacy Brown from Minwax. That's a water-based stain, and they're amazing colors. You can do your application one of two ways. You could actually use a paper towel, like a lint-free one. You can use a sponge brush, you could use a paintbrush, or you could use just a sponge. I'm going to use the foam brush. And Steve has thankfully graciously cleaned our table, so I'm going to try not to make a big mess on this table. Just want a background color back there that will be deep, so I can do a distressed look on top of it. All right, I'm going to use number 74 and number 27, white. And you could use any white, any black, any brown color. Feel free to make it your own. All right, so I'm going to move my board so that I can do long strokes and not run into my body. If it was this way, I'd be pulling towards me. And so I want to give my arm its freedom. And I'm going to start with the gray. And we're going to just use just ever so slight amount of paint and just give it a little blot over there. And I just want to streak across the board, making it look old and weathered. If you get some blotches that are strong, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you how to take care of that at the end. The one thing that you want to try not to do is have a strong stopping or starting mark like that. So I'm going to smear that out just a little. We can get rid of any mistakes, but if you have a lot of them, it gets tiresome. So I'm going to take my sanding, my rough, this is the 60 grit, and I'm going to go right up through. Look what that does. Softens everything and blends it all together. If you do it while your paint is still wet, it will leave residue on your sander. However, it's way easier to get this good effect. Okay, brush this off. If you keep a tall, large trash can by your painting table, it makes it so much easier when you need to sand and not make a mess on your carpeted floor. All right, I'm going to even this out with just a little bit more of the gray. And I'll just do this lighter. Okay, now we're going to switch with our dirty brush. I'm going to wipe them out into the white. And do the same thing. I don't know why the white behaved so much better than that gray, but it definitely did. It's like it's a different consistency. So I'm going to go back over with the second coat. Spoke too soon. Definitely spoke too soon. Okay, so I want a little bit of lighter at the tips, almost like an antiquing, and on my edges. And then we can pretend line down here. To kind of indicate boards. Okay, I think that's perfect. All right, my stencil that I'm going to use is a round stencil, but I'm going to only use the Merry Christmas words. One of the things we're really trying to focus on is that, so like this year, you may want to paint all round signs. So you might end up with a bunch of round stencils. Well, then next year, you might decide that you want to paint offset on a rectangle. So how do you do that? So I'm going to show you that you just use parts of your stencil. Also, these are really nice when you need greenery to just take them, and you could do just a little bit of greenery at the edges of a board. They're really lovely to make use of. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of measuring. I've got a little wreathy thing here, and I've got some ribbon. If you haven't seen how to make the shoe rack into a ribbon holder, you need to go watch that video because it's amazing. It's so easy. We used to have a big Rubbermaid tote full of ribbon, and now we are organized. You just pull the ribbon out, cut the length that you need, and it's so good. Anyway, so I know I'm going to use this ribbon, and so I want to do a little mock-up so that I know how far in to bring my letters. Do I want them over here? Do I want them over here? And then we want our space to kind of be a little bit equal. And then this guy has some weight as well. So I think I'll nudge him over just a little bit. And I think that that will be just lovely. So that's my position. And now we want to take our T-square and just measure how far down. That's approximately 3 inches. And approximately the low one is 2 inches, but yeah, maybe go a little bit. Okay, and then the one thing that you're going to hate yourself for is if you make your straight letters crooked. So I'm going to use that T-square. That is what is so great about a T-square. You pop it on the end, and then you can just slide your stencil around and get it jockeyed into the right position. T-squares are available, all the tools that we use pretty much. Either there will be an Amazon link in the description below, or they're on StudioR12.com. That is our website, and we have more than 7,000 stencil titles to choose from. So that is amazing. Okay, now we're going to switch to Basic Stencil Technique 101. If you're new to stenciling, then you're in the right place because we have so many good videos for you to learn from. We're going to use our dome brush, which is shaped in a dome all the way around. We swirl and tend not to stipple unless we're in a tight area. And then you use a dry brush, dry paint, meaning no water added, and then you dry it off, wipe off, or offload on the paper towel like 7 to 10 times. I've changed the number every time I say it. But so you just want to get the excess off, and then you do that offload every time you reload. So make sure that you are keeping your paint from being like gooey. You don't want it gooey. And then we just swirl. I'm not putting any pressure on my brush. I'm just swirling with the brush in contact. So as I run out, offload. This is so much less tedious than doing the stippling. The stippling is exhausting, honestly. Okay, now that you have your one coat done, we'll take a little peek at it. And so that's dusty looking, which is fine. Now I'll leave that down, give it a little sticky tape there, and go for another coat. I'll probably do 2 more coats for just blackness. Ta-da! Swirling is the best. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna hit this with a blow dryer, and then we're gonna attach our ribbon, and we will be ready to rock and roll. All right, I'm gonna wrap my ribbon so that the ends meet in the back. Make sure I like the front. Okay, it was a little bit slanted, so I'm glad I checked. I'm gonna tuck that little corner in right there. Seems like a failure point. Okay, now I'm going to wrap some twine. So next we're going to add our little detail here. So I'm going to tie it to this and then add a little bow. One string always needs to be shorter than the other, in my opinion. Okay, so ta-da! If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give us a thumbs up and then of course subscribe and then ring the bell if you want to get notified of our future videos. We'll see you in the next video.